So let's start with football, man. I know that obviously there's a lot of backstory to who you are and who made you, but like football, I'm sure was or maybe even still is a big part of your identity.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I'd say it took me a while to learn a skill that I developed in sports over time that I could actually use in business. And I'd say football for me, like football and sports in general, I did the math the other day. I've been in 55 different organizations throughout my life. Like if you all sports teams are, it's just organizations, right?
Yeah.
Some of them are led by good people, some of them are led by shitty people, mediocre people. And so I'd say that is what's played the biggest role in my life is I've been around amazing leaders, really bad leaders, and all that other good stuff. Like over time. You too, right? I mean,
Oh yeah.
for since we're 5 years old, we're in three different organizations a year, is what I say. Like we're playing 3 4 different sports. That's 4 different sports organizations that you're in, where you can see how to make people operate the right way, the wrong way, how to make people feel good, all that, all that stuff. And so that's what sports has played the biggest role for me. Is helping me develop my leadership skills.
Yeah. And outside of family, like those people are going to be influential in your life to
Oh
help
yeah.
kind of to motivate you, to sometimes unmotivate you and not make you feel good. And you learn kind of what are the things or people to avoid. And yeah, that plays a huge impact. So for those that don't know, you were a stud at Fresno State. You were, killing it there, dreams of the NFL. And, what happened from there?
My senior year, I hurt my neck pretty bad. For those of you who know sports, I came out of a third. I was playing safety, and a running back broke, and I went head up with him like 30 yards out, like just a dead sprint. And I thought I went low enough, and I legitimately like went head to head with this guy, and I
Uh,
messed up my neck so bad to where anybody tapped me, I'd get a stinger. So
dang.
for the rest of the year, I finished 17th in the country in tackles and all conference with a bad neck. But I didn't practice because if anybody touched me, I'd want to crack.
That's wild, man. Yeah, I mean, especially football, but sports in general, like most of the time you're playing injured, especially football.
Especially
And
football.
there was always something wrong going on with my body. I know my senior year, we were in camp just before the season started, and we were doing a blocking drill, and I got kind of tangled up and was trying to get off of the block, and I ended up falling on my back, and both offensive tackle and a defensive end both fell right on top of me where my legs were kind of crunched up, and it like compressed my back so bad, and
Oh,
dude, it was so locked up. I was having spasms. Like it felt like I had a steel bar in there. It was that stiff, and like
yeah.
I could only walk like this. And I remember grabbing like the inside of a door frame and just going like this, and my whole back just going da, 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 like, dude. And it was brutal. And I've had neck injuries too, really bad ones, to where I couldn't move my neck. So it's brutal, man. And a lot of that is timing and impacts. It's so crazy that small part of our lives makes a huge impact on the trajectory. Because who knows, like maybe you would have been in a better position to be seen at practice by NFL scouts and be a little bit more healthy to make, a longer career out of the NFL.
Oh, for sure. I had a sports hernia my senior year too with that neck injury. When I got to Seattle, it was 3 months after my sports hernia surgery. I went in at the same time as Malik Hooker, who went like 10th overall. He played safety too. He didn't even touch the field until like the first week of the year of like actually getting ready and like running and stuff. But like
Yeah.
it's a completely different game when you're coming out of a mid major compared to coming out of Ohio State, right? Like you just got to
Yeah.
play a different game. You got to get out there and try and get picked up.
Yeah. So much of sports, and then us both having a football background, is about timing,
Oh yeah.
from coaches, from, scouts, from all that kind of stuff, injuries, and a little bit of luck too. Like
Bro, it's a decent amount of luck because like think about
a lot.
Namdi Asamoah, who got fucking exposed when he left the Raiders, but he was in the right system when he was with the Raiders.
Yep.
But system, like I feel like it's half of it is talent, half of it is so many other variables.
Yeah. Because you'll see freak athletes that don't make it that play great too. Because there's freak athletes that just don't have the skill within the game. Like there's someone that might run a 3.940, which I don't even know if there's ever been a human that has, but let's say he does. Give him the ball, he's fumbling it all the time. He he just doesn't put it together.
He doesn't have it.
Just doesn't have it. And some people are slow, but they just have it and they just kill it, you know?
Exactly.
So anyway, yeah, I'm similar to where so much of my life was structured and a lot of my identity was around sports. So what I find interesting talking with people like you is just seeing people who have had success and big wins in sports come out of sports, because I've seen a lot of football players fail big. I've also seen a lot win big, you know, and a lot of that comes down to just like taking that same approach to the game, to the sport and the discipline. And a lot of that structure is set up for you. So if you just show up, it'll be done. But when you get out in the real life, there's not a whole lot of structure. Like you got to create the structure. So you can just fail. And in most cases, people aren't going to be there to pick you up. It's up to you.
Nobody cares. And I'd say, I mean, the hardest transition in my life, I would say, was after college. Of what do I do with my life? Your identity's gone. You have no monetizable skills. I was watching a podcast with Ryan Pineda, bro. He had a degree in economics from a decent school, and he couldn't even get a job. And he played pro baseball. Right. So, okay, I can put pro football player on my resume. I can put all conference. I can put played on USA Rugby. I can put all these different things, and I still couldn't get a job. And luckily, ended up at the end of football getting a job here at an investment company just down the street. Ended up handling a lot of the day-to-day there, and then I kind of took off from there.